Okay, hello everyone. This is a brand new game known as The Outer Worlds. This is my character. I just went through the little tutorial. It seems pretty good. As long as this mic is on, because I don't know if it is or isn't. So give me 5 seconds. It's almost impossible nowadays to even know. But who knows? Now let's see. Good, good. Okay, let's go on our way. You can hear me in the background. I'm gonna kill him. Whoa. This was a dumb idea. Okay. Now. Okay, what is this? Okay. So, what am I doing? What is this? Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, armor management. To wear an armor or helmet item, navigate to the... I don't... No. Let's see. That should do. Awesome. Let's get back. It's got a similar feel to... Well, we all know what it feels like. And what it looks like. I mean, we all know. We're not dumb. This is gonna be fun.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
Who's this?
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech! Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. Really? How is he? Shouldn't have done that. Spacer's Choice family ain't authorized to receive medical aid from off-brand physicians.
Crap.
We'll see him back to Edgewater. Just as soon as I cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation... You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
It's gonna be laminated.
Here we go.
I don't see anybody. Right in the chest. I hear something good. I'm just looting.
I just earned a fine bonus.
Waste of company ammo.
Good. Whoa, what's that? Loot, loot, loot. Oh, man, I was kind of hoping... Well... To be honest, I was kind of hoping that this guy fell. Just so I could take his helmet. And his, like, armor. Actually, he might be a robot.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
When
Intruders
it
are not
instantly says
authorized
that...
to access the Unreliable's amenities. Marauder, please be informed that ignoring me is dangerous for your health.
The workbench allows you to repair, upgrade, and modify your weapons and armor. Okay. Let's see, Okay, I'm taking the, taking a sawed-off shotgun. Any day. Yes. That's the way to do it.
All doors are on security lockdown. Nice try, Marauder.
Am I not supposed to...
Marauder, please be informed the ship has no crew for you to murder.
I'm not gonna murder him, man. I'm just looting.
Please be advised that using the respecification machine will not make you a better person.
That was stupid. Why'd I do that?
Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarded parties in 5, 4,
Uh-oh.
3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact.
Obviously.
Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced.
Okay.
Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty.
True, true.
High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand?
Yes.
Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Nice. I've been promoted. Awesome. Let's revert that. Let's go down to dialogue. I'll just level up again. Actually, being over and come. Wait a second. Just I don't know. Should I get the speed? That's probably the best bet. No. Well, it says every 2 levels you get a point. If I get a point, I can fast travel after that. But this one will help. I hope so.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Good, good.
Not just anyone is chosen to enforce landing regulations, you know? I had to fill out 4 whole forms.
So this is my ship now? I'm just gonna talk to her again, see.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
Good, good. Waste your time. Okay, so there is some catches to everything.
Heard so. Make you bleed! Stay away!
See? You beg for your life, but then you... I'm just gonna let you live and everything. Well. Do. Let's keep going. Too bad there's no like radio or anything. Yes. What the heck?
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea. It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a marauder's disrespectful to all the workers that got eaten by them. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
Gotta
Pleased
be
to
Alex
make your
Hawthorne.
acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see?
I see. Yeah, I'm not going to start haggling people. Especially if they have to rent their gravesites. What? Okay, I've got to pretend to be Alex Hawthorne.
Spacer's choice takes care of its own.
I don't
Keep
care.
your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
Another day at the cannery.
Don't go knocking your work. At least we've got work.
This is awesome. What is it? I'll mess with that later.
Miss Holcomb, I need you to explain this to us. The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you.
Great!
I just want to
I
get
got
her
my
away from that guy.
wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
There are characters that join you in your adventures. Yeah. Ooh, they do increase your carrying capacity. I am glad.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry.
Yeah, get out of the office.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it, on account of it being the only clean thing. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Let's go.
Got my sights on.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders. We all got quotas to make. You some sort of freelancer?
Poor guy. Oh, so it's in the botanical. Or is it behind it? Get out of here. Get out of my way.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Oh, it actually is.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Good. I don't... Just good. The left swing will prepare a strong sweep attack. Okay. Just sit.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. I love the wind here.
Is that a human?
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies. Just my luck. I ask for backup and the boss sends me one of them simple folk. All right. Listen real close. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant.
Okay.
Clattering about, firing at the birds, orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing, shoulder to shoulder with the resistance? Go on. You ever seen the way a mechanical just stands there? Just looking at you, scanning you with its murderous oculars. Mechanicals have been programmed to eliminate the human race. They've been programmed to replace us. First, they will rob us of our jobs. And once they have taken away our livelihoods, they will take away our very lives.
Okay, he's crazy. Unless I find some mechanicals that try to kill me. Then I will join his party of crazy people. How to do it. I thought you were a pretty little... I don't even know what. What are they, like stingrays? I was hoping for a sword, but... whatever. shot to the face. Okay. I would have had him too.
Huh? Something there?
Incoming! Can't get past that armor!
I'm still trying. What? Why?
I'm not getting through! Nice hit! Careful, you're hurt!
Crap. No, come on. It's those other guys in the background that got me. Okay, judging a melee. That's my biggest problem. It's those guys in the background. I thought my person would actually take them out, but instead, no. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna kill this person. I'm gonna take his armor. I'm gonna win.
Something there?
Incoming!
Man.
Past that armor!
Nope. Oh, get right back.
That hurt.
Okay, I gotta find a way. There's gotta be a way, and I know there is a way.
That didn't work!
Face. Twice. Awesome. They'll pop back up. At least that's what it says. Oh man, I almost had him too. It's just those people in the background. Yeah, it's just, this game is... I like it. I like this game. There's gotta be a way to take them out, but I don't have a grenade, I don't have any bombs.
Oh! Nice one!
Back off me. Please.
That's the last of them.
Got him. Light machine gun. Well, I'll still take it. I don't care. I was hoping for. Which one's better? Oh, wait. Take that. You deserved it. Okay, I'm gonna need to get more bullets. Good. Take out his legs. Eh. Oh, poor guy.
Everyone all right?
Who? Got it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to like pop up. Let's see if society hates me now. Okay. Good. I don't. Not my issue if they hate me. Well, I don't need this. Down I go. Okay, so what am I doing? Okay, there it is. Good. Oh man. Bit cartridge. Let's search the last house. I'll take everything. Evicted. Okay. I was hoping to be able to jump on the rocks, but I can't. Nah. Okay, there it is. About time. Yes. Okay.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
It's a marauder. Evicted. One, two, three. What is that? Okay, that's a marauder. There they are. Oh, that's the dog. I need as many bullets as I can. Okay. Next. Come on. Light pistol? I can sell it. That's a better idea. I can sell it once I get it all. Because I know I'm not going to need all this. Corporation Service Award. They served their corporation, I see. I knew it. I knew it. Why was I an idiot and went running up to it? Okay. Weapon parts. Taking it. Ooh. I can use that. of my way. I'll gladly take that. I mean, you're gonna spit money out? Compass. All I gotta do is find a guy that'll buy stuff. For you.
Wow! You put those marauders in the dirt quicker than the masked marketeer. Teach me your ways. Only the most dashing champion of private enterprise ever to don a mask. Until I get my start, that is. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. I'm great at clarifying. No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon.
Something there?
Stand and deliver! Always wanted to say that. This is better than the cereals! Come on, get him!
Just me out well.
Come on, get him! Ah, no, encore! What I wouldn't do for a Wentworth.
I don't need her. Okay, maybe I do, because there's a lot of these mines, and I don't even see them. She can walk in front of me or something. Should give her a better gun. Nah.
Yeah, huh? You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. It just comes off cold to me, is all. Where are we headed?
Guess I can't give her any stuff.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. Over in the hothouse, tending crop. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. Much obliged.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip him out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
My conscience says both the towns. There's a way to get. There's a way to get a regulator without destroying both towns. I'd like to do it. I would like to have both those towns available. Now, without both of them available, I might be losing opportunities that only one or the other can do. So, ooh, jeweled ring.
I've always wanted to poke around in here.
Man, these guys aren't the ones that I need to go after. I just need to go to the cannery. If I can get to the cannery, figure out what I'm doing, and then I can get them. Or even... No, I don't want to give... There's gotta be a way. I can also buy...
Friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
At least you got
I've
your
never
hat.
actually been in here. Seemed scary from the outside.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free.
What?
Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller. As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity. If this is a setup to a joke, you should know I've never found anything amusing in my life. I don't serve Edgewater. Edgewater and the entire region of Emerald Vale serve Spacer's Choice. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. The bureaucracy is a noble profession, but not all of us are gifted enough to serve in it. Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which occupies a seat on the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, also known as the Board. I must admit it bothers me that you don't already know this. His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual?
This is where the magic happens. Well, science. But it still happens here. Hey, that's... I mean, if you need it, okay.
I was allowed to take that, right? This is her shop, isn't it?
If you're hungry, I could open up a can of something. Oh, you like flowers? I can't find many kinds around here. If you need to go, I'll wait outside.
One thing I didn't find in this place.
My dad's... It's an office. Just my office.
The chicken wing, baby.
Reaper, how's it going?
Let's see what this fucking outer world is all about. You fucking hosting it.
Yeah, you should see it. It's actually pretty good.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
Just between us, Wilson deserted. Lost his nerve. Ran off in the thick of night.
You kidding me? Damn. Always thought he was made of sterner stuff.
I think he was plagued.
Kinda
Guess
looks
he
like
didn't
it
want to
has,
die in the sick house.
Plague? Ah, shit.
Bioshock
Had some of its own
look
too.
to it.
It's got the Fallout feel to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Got a lot to do.
Are you watching the stream?
Yep. Damn it.
Gotta be a way for me to stop this.
I have no idea.
Okay. We're gonna go to the quest checkpoint. It seems probably like the only way to figure things out. Unless... Well, yeah, so far it's a good game.
How's the action?
You'll probably see that here soon. It's pretty much similar, very similar to the Fallout.
Gotcha.
However, you get up to 4 weapons.
I see.
Here they come!
Processing data.
Come on.
Where'd the kid put my iPhone up? Michael had it earlier.
Down they go!
No, I'll be right back.
control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
I don't think we are.
System security patrol.
Here they come! Three switches. That'll be easy enough.
You know, I don't know, but
I'm sweeping.
because for me to do that, I would be pretty much destroying the whole town.
Huh.
The problem is what I want to do is I want to make sure I've got both towns.
Oh.
Here they come! Careful, you're hurt! That's the last of them!
With a perk. Okay, I'm rejecting that.
Let's play some Star Wars.
Well, you got the new one?
Yep.
Is it any good?
It's alright for now. little slow at first, but I'm going to be streaming it. The Star Wars game. I forget where I left off last night.
That's not good.
You're not a big drinker, are you? Only the...
I don't know you. Uh-huh. The Unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name. Whew! I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here.
Oh, I see.
Am I that easy to read? Yeah, we've been having some problems lately. Loyalty issues, lines in the sand. I know where folk in Edgewater stand. But you, I don't know you. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Can't have you taking drinks over to those deserters. Don't you go letting them traitors drip poison down your ear. Nothing decent about a worker who walks out on their own family. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you? Go ahead. I don't see how that's any of your business.
Oh, what the
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself.
Oh, horseshit.
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming? I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G? Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head. Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that, I am grateful. What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out. They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong. Not so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story? What's there to figure out? Stands to reason you work for a company. You ain't Spacer's choice. Could be you're with Auntie Cleo. That's exactly the kind of crazy talk that comes from an overabundance of sobriety. Well, good luck trying to figure yourself out. Sounds like you'll need it. Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum. Most folk forget where they're standing after a few drinks. Seems to me you've got a head start. Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business. Only deserters and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning. Let me make something clear. Spacer's Choice has been real good to me. The town's been real good to me. I start gallivanting around outside the walls, poking around in places I shouldn't be, learning things I've got no right to know. People will talk. Won't ever catch me asking about the world outside. Else the town's gonna say Amelia's gone soft. That Amelia's pondering desertion. I don't want that. There you go with that thinking again. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's dangerous? I've said enough. People come here to drink their problems away. If they wanted to face their problems, they'd go see our vicar.
I'm not allowed in here. Not since the vending machine incident.
Holcomb, got my eye on you, girl. Miss Holcomb ain't allowed in this establishment. Not since that little incident. See that you do. I got a business to run. Edgewater ain't gonna provision itself, you know.
I won't touch anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
Go right ahead. What, you mean Edgewater? That's a peculiar question. This a test? Am I being tested right now? It's, fine and dandy. Couldn't be happier. Wouldn't want to spend my life working anywhere else. Prettiest little town on Terra 2. You are condescending to me, and I do not care for it. I am lucky to have my work, lucky to be alive. I don't get paid for banter. Was there something you needed? Go right ahead. Other than yourself? Definitely the vicar. Don't get me wrong. He seems a decent man, cut from church cloth. knows his scriptures. But there's something about him that bothers me. Like he's not one of us. Sometimes I suspect he doesn't even want to be here. Amelia. Definitely Amelia Kim. I advise against stepping foot in her drinking establishment altogether. Word is, they're gonna replace her with an auto-mechanical barkeep. She's... what's the word? Obsolete. You don't want to associate yourself with that kind of person. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe salt tuna. All I've got is gourmet. Music to my ears.
Oh boy. Two of these motherfuckers. Oh god, and a fucking turn. Bullshit.
Work your jaw on some Spacer's Chaw. Music to my ears.
Cat, stop.
Where are we headed? In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker? Sorry. I know, it's none of my business. Strong drink makes me sick. And it makes me real sad. I start thinking about things I oughtn't, and then... Well, never mind that. You got better things to think on. Sorry. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. There was a kind of a thing with a vending machine when I was 12. Not intentionally. I've always been good with my hands, right? So I saw a lock on the machine and thought, oh, this must be how they refill it. But I had to know. So I did my thing, and next thing I know, there's a couple hundred bottles of Zero G rolling out the front door and into the road. It's not funny. Right about then, a bunch of loaders came rolling in the gate, fresh off the salt tuna ships. And Mr. Thompson was up on the porch making a speech about how everyone would have to volunteer a third shift to get it all canned. Anyhow, you ever seen an auto loader run over a bottle of Zero G? Exploded all over Mr. Thompson. One bottle after another as the loaders went by. I was just shy of working age, so Dad had to pay all the damages. Moreau's still angry at me. I can laugh about it now, but I just about puked up my guts in terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr. Thompson look a fool.
Get some sleep.
I probably need to. It's like, I actually am. I think I'm gonna go to bed. Do you work tomorrow?
Nope.
You don't?
Nope, I don't.
Awesome. I also have to check to see if I work tomorrow, and then I'm pretty sure I have
Almost
it off.
lost a finger in the cannery today.
Don't let the boss catch you.
So, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Alright, buddy.
Stay out of trouble. Yeah.